Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us for this special live session. I'm Itzik Amiel, and you can hear I already have a cold, so that's why my sounds look like a slaughtered chicken. But we are here again with a weekly Switch interview series called the Switch It On, where we talk to smart and talented people on how you could switch on your practice and even your life. And you're invited. So if you watch us now, we are live, and you're very welcome to join us to be here to listen to amazing guests we have today, and soon you're going to find it out. But before, what is the subject of today? We're going to talk today about, we named it Beyond Carrot and Stick Culture. I know you're curious, but you're going to hear soon about it. But in other words, how to build a unique and successful firm culture that will help you attract the right people, retain employees and clients for the long term, and more benefits if you do it right. Without a doubt, I'm telling you again, it will be insightful episode. And it's one of my favorite subjects because I know a lot of firms struggling and talking and discussing culture and never found out maybe alternative for what they know, the carrot and stick. And again, as you know, I'm training about mentoring and helping many law firms build the culture because I think it's important if we know what is the right culture to attract the right people, even the right client to your firm. So if you're joining us right now, please let us know who you are, where you're dialing from, put your name, put your country, where you're from, because we want to know who you are, not only me, also our guests, and you know we're all here. I can see who you are, but I want everybody to know. And thank you very much, David, and Dana, and Alex, and Yela, and Maron, and Bayo, and Tricky, and Tracy, and Dan, and Bobelli, and Acarnatello. All your name is Mario, and Jess, and Ario, and Andrea. And thank you very much for all you joining. Keep joining. We are live, so you're very welcome to join us. Because I have the honor to have this live session with a top legal and expert. Today, my special guest and friend is Jamie Carey. And maybe you know, maybe you didn't know yet, but let me tell you before I invite Jaime to join us, let me give you some highlights about him. Because I like to do behind people back because we don't like to hear our success right in front of us, right? So he's Jaime Carey. Jaime Carey first is the founder, managing partner, and co-head of the firm tax group of Carey Advogados, the largest law firm in Chile. His practice focuses on personal and corporate tax planning, local and international tax consulting, project financing, merger and acquisition, and foreign investment transactions. Kami is currently vice president of the International Bar Association and has had the following position, as you probably know: co-secretary general, chair of the legal practice division 2017-18, member of the management board, member of the council of the legal practice division, chair of the Latin American Regional Forum, co-chair of the corporate M&A section, member of the advisory board of the law firm management committee, and a member of the advisory board of the women interest group, etc., etc. Wow, a lot of achievement, and you probably know he's upcoming president IBA together with Claudio Visco. So Jaime is a member of the board also of Adelco, Valle Nevado, and Evercase, if I pronounce that, is Frito-Lay Chile, and also the chairman of the board of MetLife in Chile. Jaime is a board member of also Intellex and was in the past the chairman of the World Services Group between 24 and 2005. Jaime won many awards during the years, and he recognized as one of the top legal leaders in Latin America by many publications, and just to name it through. And I can share so much more. I don't want to do this. I want to bring our guests. So I stop here, and I'm going to invite Jaime to join us. Here we go. Welcome, Jaime. Thanks for joining us for this session.
Hi, Amir. Itzik, it's nice to be here. I just came back from Spain and I was rushing to look well, and I cut myself this morning shaving, and I couldn't stop the blood. So it's not the best looking presentation, but that's the way life is. I guess I'm gonna have to start back going to the electric razor again, and not have to go through these ordeals. So thank you very much for the invitation. It's really a pleasure to be here. I would just like to make a small parenthesis. It's like, we had some sad news last Friday. Our precedent president of the IBA, Stanford Moyo, passed away as a consequence of an operation he had. So it's really very sad news. I knew Stanford personally for many years. He was a wonderful man, a very renowned lawyer in Zimbabwe, and he was the chair of the Human Rights Institute of the IBA for many years, fought against the or try to uphold the rule of law in Zimbabwe and in Africa, and then went on to become the president of the IBA, where he did a wonderful job. I'm really sad about this passing away, and all of those who knew him will miss him personally very much. And I think the people who knew him from a professional perspective really respected him, and he will be a big loss to the profession.
And from here, me and all the IB and all the legal community, we want to send condolences to the family and the dear ones in your sad times. And maybe it's a wake up call to all of you listening right now. Life is passing fast. You better listen and correct thing right away, because you never know what will end. And you see an unexpected thing happen in life. And I'm sorry for this sad news. Thanks for sharing it with us, Jaime. And again, great to have you here. Thank you for. I know that I'm catching you between flights and traveling, and I know we struggle to get you. I'm so happy we get you, and I know it's going to be valuable time to all the listening. But with your permission, let me set the stage for our conversation, because law firms known for their established tradition are now really recognizing, if you want, the need to evolve. A positive, innovative workplace culture isn't just a nice to have, I think, anymore. It's a competitive necessity, because it's impact everything from employee satisfaction and retention to client service to firm profitability. Every place there's this culture is taking place. And traditional models that we know, often driven by high pressure and punitive measures, are really giving way to more progressive approaches. And I see it more and more coming, although many people like you are going to share with us today did it many years ago. And these new models really emphasize the motivation, the creativity, well-being, of course, and the foster environments where employees feel valued and inspired to bring the best to the work, which I hope I had when I was a lawyer in law firm. I hope I had such a culture in the firm that I worked that I could do it. Now I understand why I didn't fit really in the culture of the some of the firm I work. And this is exactly the reason for this special session with Jaime. Because today we have privilege to have with us in this to learn what really, as a managing partner of the largest law firm in Chile, who built it from the beginning, he has champions the revolutionary. I call it carrot without stick, but maybe it's not even a carrot and stick, it's alternative to this culture. And he will share with us more in this innovative approach has reshaped his firm, driving success and fostering motivated, engaged workplace. I promise you, every person you meet from the firm, Jaime, every partner, look the same. They're all motivated, they're all happy. Like somebody put them, on the high. I don't want to say drugs, but something they in common, and probably that's the culture. So let's dive in and explore how these insights can offer valuable lesson to you, for all of us in the community. So let's dive in directly to the subject, Jaime. So the first question that I think all the people listening to us curious to ask you to hear your answer to it. Can you elaborate for us of what inspired you really to develop a culture that's not necessarily based on rewards, or you call carrots, or penalties, the sticks, at your firm, and what is really the culture behind this, and how does this, of course, benefit both the firm and the partners of the firm?
You know, we are all human at the end, and I came to the conclusion a long time ago that it's difficult to force people to do things that they don't want to do or that they naturally resist, especially if it's something you don't even want to do yourself. So it gets to a point where the rewards and penalties don't actually work, because it doesn't make you get enthusiastic, or you end up not liking where you are. And so and even if they're effective, to have penalties or very effective rewards, they can transform a law firm into something very disagreeable, a very unpleasant place to be. In general terms, I think lawyers like to work on legal matters for their clients. That's how we tick. And as a partner of a law firm, uh, being an outstanding lawyer, it's sort of the basic qualifications that you must have. But in addition to being an outstanding lawyer, you have to be a mentor. You have to teach your associates. You have to do business development or marketing. You have to participate in community or professional activities. And on top of all this, undertake a whole host of administrative and management tasks, such as time records, billing, collecting, participating in internal committees, internal evaluation, business plans, budgets, etc., etc., etc. And obviously, this is not what we like as lawyers. As lawyers, we like to work for our clients, do the legal work, and that is what makes us thrive. In order to compensate this in a way, our firm's culture has always been that of collaboration, trust, and solidarity. It sounds, a bit corny in a way, but or maybe easier said than done. But to me, those are the three pillars of any firm. We all try to push in the same direction, helping each other and not, tripping each other. The main idea in our firm is to make the pie grow larger for everyone rather than fighting each other to get a bigger slice of that pie. It's been our focus to have an agreeable working atmosphere and to have that sense of trust amongst the partners so that when you come into the office in the morning, you don't have that feeling that you're going to be stabbed in the back and that you really feel comfortable. And to do that, it has to be a two-way street. And in order to make your firm grow, all the practices grow and get the recognition you want, we have all become sort of marketers of our partners and our friends. We are always praising their qualities, saying, and showing what they are each the best in, and we actually are happy and thrive with their success because their success at the end of the day results in a financial success to us because we're making that pie increase and we're all going to get a bigger part, even if you have a smaller percentage. So if you praise your partners and your partners are happy and they feel trust and we all start benefiting from each other's success and the firm starts becoming more collaborative, the more positive, and you end up having people that are happy, are committed, and are respected. And basically, we start to see that they are praised, our partners are praised internally and externally. And in a way, that takes you to something that may be counterintuitive, that at the end, what has taken us to work this way is not the money. The money is not the driving force because it can be very dangerous. But the consequence of the success is the money. And that is really where you can have trust, mutual recognition, and excellence play for everybody and have a very nice working atmosphere. So in this context, it is much more effective than applying sticks and carrots to implement ways where we can help partners and make it easier to undertake those tasks that they really don't like or are resisted. Otherwise, it gets to a point where you have frustrated partners with a feeling that they're being exploited by the rest. It's very funny. We have a retreat every 2 years, which we call a social retreat. And it's with the partners and their significant others. And it's completely social, just bonding and getting to know each other. And we don't talk about business. And what's funny to see there that all the spouses or husbands or wives or significant others realize that they're not the only ones that have the feeling that their husband or wife is being exploited, because
Yeah.
we all feel exploited by the rest, and that means we really are all pushing in the same direction. And in today's world, where there's so many alternatives, going with a stick and making life unbearable, really you start pushing people out to want to do other things. When I started working, you had to be a lawyer, a doctor, a dentist, an engineer, an economist, or whatever, and you didn't have all these array of different possibilities of being an entrepreneur or starting a new business. And today, all those things exist. So people get basically fed up. And if you push them to get fed up, they'll go away. So what we have tried to do, and what has been my karma, let's put it that way, it's to generate methods to make things agreeable, to get people to accept habits and embrace them, and not feel it's something awful or terrible, where they feel really, working in a lousy place with people they don't like.
Great, love it. That's amazing, Jaime. And I mean, I can see people nodding in the head, and a lot of people agreeing. I mean, but I mean, it's very simple to a lot of you who want to know if you have something like that in your firm. You just think about the morning and you wake up. Did you wake up in the morning every day and look, yes, I'm going to work, amazing? Or I said, oh, again, going to work. Think about it, because that's exactly the difference between going to a culture or embrace everybody praise each other, or a place you don't want to work and maybe you want to be escaped. Think about it. Thank you very much for all of you joining right now. We are live, definitely, and you should join. If you have questions to Jaime during this broadcast, please ask it also under the video in the place there. So I would love to ask your question to Jaime during the presentation. Again, if you're joining right now, let us know who you are, where you're dining from, because we all want to know. Okay, and you're invited here to learn about beyond character and stick culture, and we want to continue to dive even more. Because from my personal experience, Jaime, and helping the law firm, as worldwide, a safeguarding really model in which teams are rewarded for cultivating a constructive culture is still an innovative approach in the legal industry. And I found many people still struggling with it. Undergirding this approach is this theory of positive reinforcement. As probably as introduced by the scholar, I think Professor Skinner, in his book Science and Human Behavior, already in 1953. Because this well-established theory really focus on the environment and provides the non-drivers of human motivation, favorable performance consequences. Like everybody likes it, and based on that theory, you would like to be able to be part of that team. So let me be more practical based on that. And my question to Jaime is: can you share with us maybe more specific examples of innovative initiatives or policies that you implemented at your firm to really to foster this positive and motivated work environment?
Yeah, I mean, we still have to do things we don't like. It can be uh, less cumbersome or more cumbersome. But I try to get my partners to comply with certain administrative tasks, but doing it in a bit of a more humorous manner in order to get them to develop habits, which at the end, it's like brushing your teeth. Once you have to do it every day, you get used to it, and it doesn't become an ordeal as it may have seemed at the beginning. And to me, a sort of a funny example is that I see our partners as fish in a fishbowl. As long as they're inside the fishbowl and being able to do work for their clients, and just basically concentrate on their legal work and dealing with their clients, they're all happy and breathe. But if you take them out of the fishbowl, they start choking, and all they want to do is be able to be put back into the fishbowl, to start breathing again and start doing what they like. So what have we done, which I call it sort of the equivalent of the fishbowl effect? It's that in order to get the lawyers to put in their time records on time, which normally, hopefully, is on a day-to-day basis, because that's the way to be more efficient and not forget things. We implemented a system that at 3 o'clock the following day, if you haven't put in your time records, your Outlook starts stopping every 5 minutes. It goes blank.
Oh,
And the only way you can get it to start working correctly again is by putting in your hours. So you obviously you still have your iPhone, so you can receive mails and see uh, your schedule or whatever. But if you want to do substantive work, you end up having to put in your hours, because otherwise this becomes an unbearable situation
irritating.
of not being able to work. It's it's really frustrating, but at the end you help people develop a habit, and this habit, it's only 5-10 minutes, and if you do it or during the day, it's so easy, and people at the end thank me, because I said, I had accumulated 2 weeks, 3 weeks of not putting in my time records, and then that becomes an ordeal, or very, very cumbersome. Other practical things, I was always pushing my partners when they went on a trip, on a business development trip or to a conference or whatever, to come back and write a report. Who they saw, what they did, etc., and the ideas, and what clients may have come out of this, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, starting with me, I thought that was the most terrible thing that could happen to you. It was the most boring thing to do. And, rather than keep on, you know, applying the stick, if people don't do this, they don't get to go to the conference the next year, or, whatever, I retain their salary for 2 weeks, or whatever. At the end of the day, people prefer not to go to the conference, or
Yeah.
sometimes, live on their overdraft. But it's difficult to get them to do something that they don't really like. So what I did was something sort of very easy. Is we had some of the marketing people that would come the day after you come back from a trip, and they sit there with a tape recorder and debrief you for 10, 15 minutes. So you sit there, with the cards or wherever. You said, I met John Smith. He was a really nice guy from such a firm, and we talked about this or that. And then there was an opportunity to do something in the antitrust area, and he wanted us to send this or do that, and he knew whatever. But having a 5, 10, 15-minute conversation with somebody, which is recorded, really makes life so much easier. And then that person would transform it into the report and then put it into your CRM system. So that's what I mean by making life easier. Rather than hitting people over the head, if you find ways of helping them, it's much more effective.
I'm listening to carefully, Jaime, and I'm asking myself, I've been listening to you, said, why didn't they do it earlier? It's so easy, so simple to be done. But again, it's the drive. It's the drive. Yeah, the last word that Jaime said is how to make your life of your employees, your partners easier, it's nicer, happier. And if you think from that, you'll find the solution. But if that's not your drive, you know what? Even simple solution not appear in your mind, and you still struggle. So thanks for that insight, Jaime. And again, those of you joining us right now, if you have questions to Jaime, ask it please in the chat box under the video, because we want to ask your question. And again, you're invited to learn about beyond carrot and stick culture. I think you already could see that we are beyond carrot and stick. Totally different thing, simple solution, but innovative thing that I suggest copy paste. Take those ideas and bring it to your own firm. When implementing such a culture in a law firm, I assume you want to ensure that your team remains motivated and engaged without resorting to traditional punitive measures, right? That's all of us like this. So having that in mind, my next question to you, Jaime, is what practical steps, and again, I want to make it very practical to our listeners, what practical step have you found most effective in maintaining this culture? You do it for a long time. You probably find some interesting things. What are these?
Well, we are a firm that has grown organically. Our last lateral partner hire was 27 years ago, so that sort of says something. And we have try to develop all our new areas from zero, basically, which gives, you know, associates who have see a career or a path, they see that they have the possibility of developing areas and doing something new and you know, becoming the best, and we all encourage them, we all push them. Maybe it'll take 2 years, 3 years, and we're willing to invest in that to have associates see that they have a, you know, that there's a big light at the end of the tunnel. They're not going to be stuck there, not having a growth possibility. And that really has been great for our firm to be able to grow and have people enthusiastically growing, creating new things. You know, I'm always listening to senior associates who have ideas, and if they're good ideas, I push them to develop them and, you know, develop new practices, and that's how we've grown into, you know, life sciences or all the technological aspects, many new practices that didn't even exist before, and that's been very, very good. And the other is also to have lawyers participate with clients, especially young associates. You know, there's always been a fear from partners that if they let associates participate or have a direct contact with their clients, if they eventually leave, they may take them away. And that shows that you don't really have much self-trust in the institution and in yourself. And at the end, if that happens, uh, which is, it doesn't really happen that much. You may have a few exceptions, but then it's your fault, not the young guy's fault. But at the end of the day, the benefit is so much bigger than the downside, and how they learn to interact, how they soak, you know, the how to deal the relationship, the human part, which is very difficult to teach. You have to be there, sense it, see it, listen, understand, and it's been a fantastic way to get our associates to grow and really to get that feeling of belonging. And also, we use a bit what I call the theory of the alliance. You know, we throw sometimes our associates to the lions, you know, obviously with us there, so that they feel that they have to really, it's worse than giving a final exam or, you know, going to the bar exam, because it's not that you're going to get a bad grade, it's you're going to make a fool of yourself, you know. So the pressure to do it well is great, and they really thank you, because it's feeling, you know, from the first day that they are really somebody which is recognized within the firm. And this is what brings trust, you know, when you let your young lawyers deal with the clients, and you don't, you know, try to hide them away and keep them in a back office writing reports which are signed by somebody else. That really makes a big difference, and it what gives you a strength in an institution.
Thank you for that. That's very practical and to the point, Jaime. And I agree 100% everything you said. I mean, there's a valuable advice that a lot of us can share and do in their own firm, especially when, you know, when you said throw them to the lions, but when you let young people be participated, they become more loyal and stay longer in the firm. But if you wait till they can be ready, maybe they'll left you by then, and then you miss the opportunity to have good people in your firm. Absolutely. Again, I want to say hello to those of you joining us. I'm even Jamie Carey speaking on the fascinating subject of beyond carrot and stick culture. And again, if you're here, stick with us because we're not in the end of our conversation, we're still live. But if you're interested in learning more about Jaime and his firm and all the new things coming his way and you're doing, connect with him on LinkedIn. Check out the things the firm is publishing on the website, carey.com, and you'll find more information. I think you also have your own personal website there, Jaime, if I'm not mistaken, which you can see more curriculum of yourself. But if you want to make sure you never miss one of our weekly Switch On interview series, follow me on LinkedIn, go to the Switch Up website. You can sign up, get a business development strategies and tips. You'll be added to an email list where you get regular reminder about our fantastic guests like Jaime today. So let's
Yeah, by
continue
the way,
on.
it's carey.cl, because otherwise you'll end up with Carey Transportation.
Oh, sorry for that. Carey.cl, that's the right website. So I correct. Thank you for letting me know. Carey, that's of course CL for Chile. So let's continue about this insightful topic beyond carrot and stick culture. And your innovative carrot without stick or carrot or beyond carrot and stick approach. I mean, I think everybody can see how simple, but at the same time very fascinating. And I'm sure the audience love to hear all the real world examples you're giving us. So going in that direction, can you tell us now maybe a story about a time when this approach of carrot without stick approach or beyond carrot and stick led to an unexpected or really particularly rewarding outcome for the firm or your client? Because we want to make sure all these ideas you share with us really works. It gives something to the firm.
Yeah, we have always had the approach that clients, in a way, are also friends. Especially being in a small country where you have international clients, uh, many of the large corporations we deal with, they always used to tell us, "You're our eyes and ears in Chile," because remember, the client is the corporation, not the local employee or the local CEO. And we've had we, put throughout the firm this very strong conscience of making friends with clients, that they become, it's a relationship that goes far beyond just the commercial relationship, and that really makes a big difference. And when you talk to them, you understand their problems, you help them with personal issues in addition to the legal aspects and whatever. And also with many of the CEOs or general counsels, uh, they have problems. That everybody's a human being, and human beings also have their own problems that go beyond the company's problems. And when you worry about them in addition to the company, it makes a big difference. And we have seen this in two very very uh, things that have made me very proud. One is the consistent recognition that we receive from clients by word of mouth recommendations, and also what we see as a recognition from the market. The local market has always given us a very strong recognition, and that obviously makes me very proud. And although it's not that important, but at least when you're consistent, we've been receiving many awards from all of the different, chambers of this world, Eagle 500, etc. And maybe one award here or there, they may be debatable, but if you are consistent, obviously that makes a difference, and it does make you feel very proud. But one of the things that has made me most proud is we started about 5 years ago an alumni program. So we decided to find, make a list of and find all of the alumni that we had, you know, since the firm basically had started and we're still alive. And we ended up with a list of something like 370. I don't remember exactly the numbers. And we had a cocktail in our offices, where we had photos being projected on the wall of all the years, and we had planned something like from 7 to 11, and figured that if we were lucky, we would have 150 people or whatever. Well, to make a long story short, we had almost 300 people attend, and they stayed till 3 o'clock in the morning, and we couldn't make them leave. And everybody was happy with laughter, with good memories. And the good thing is that where there may have been an exception, they weren't there, so we didn't notice it. But it was very very rewarding to see uh, you know uh, good memories, and people having a fond memory of the firm.
I love the last example, Jaime, because as you know, a lot of times we say that alumni are the best measure of culture of firm, because many people don't want to hear from the firm they work. Don't call me, don't put me in any list. I'm not interested. I had enough. And if they're coming back, it means a lot to the culture of the firm, the thing they learn, and let them grow up wherever they are now in their life. So thanks for that. I'm driving in because we're over time, but I want to continue asking you the question. I know we have, so still stay with us. If you're there, stay with us because we have two more questions at least that I want to ask. I don't know if you have questions, Jaime. But as I know you, Jaime, you are a true giver. So I want to give you an opportunity actually to give more to other leaders in our community, especially for those law firm leaders and business manager looking to adopt a similar culture that you developed from the beginning. And I know you did it consciously and you knew about it. Now people giving you rewards and awards, etc. But you knew it from the beginning. So if we are talking now to a lot of leaders of law firm around the world who are listening to us, is what advice would you offer them if they listen and say, you know what, you convinced me, I want to do something similar? What would you give them? What advice?
Yeah, I'll just give you a few points. First, I think you need to generate an atmosphere of trust, and this is fundamental. If you don't have trust, a partnership doesn't work. You have to have a collaborative atmosphere and market and praise your fellow partners as if they were the best product that you had, and also thrive with their success. Not only yours. Push for teamwork rather than one player running away with the ball. It should be that the whole team works together. And it may be counterintuitive sometimes. You may lose a big star, but that big star at the end of the day may end up being a rotten apple in the organization. uh, and have a pleasant working atmosphere with collegiality, and worry about the human side of your partners. If they're sick, their wife, their husband, their children, that we're all human beings. We're not, it can't be irrelevant if they have a problem. And normally, nothing is as terrible as it looks. And at the end of the day, time solves all problems. We have a president here in Chile who's called Barros Luco, and he had a saying. He said, there are two types of problems: those that solve themselves and those that don't have a solution. And time really sometimes solves a lot of problems. And finally, which is my motto in a way, is try to be happy and maintain a good sense of humor throughout your working life.
Love all these tips. I mean, actually, I know I'm thinking out loud even you speaking, Jaime. That actually you are explaining us the meaning of the word carry, right? It's care for why? For you. That's actually what is the explanation. That's exactly what you did in the firm, caring about other people. And it's exactly your family name. If you want it or not, you were born with that. So thanks for that, Jaime. Almost at the end of our conversation, I cannot let go without my next question. And I'm sorry doing that, Jaime, to you, but we all know you are going to become our president of the IBA, the International Bar Association, together with our friends Claudio Visco, and I think you're doing 1 year each. But as the upcoming president of the IBA, and I know it takes a few more months, but still, which would be your approach to the leadership of the association based on what we heard today, or maybe other things you want to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, uh, not more different than what I have said before with respect to the firm. I want to pursue collaboration and bring the whole association together as one entity rather than these separate silos that may be in different constituencies or divisions. Uh, Elaborate interesting and innovative projects where you can get participation from many parts of the association. Uh, Remember that we're all volunteers, and everybody wants to have a nice, collegiate, friendly atmosphere and mutual respect. We're not being paid for this. It's supposed to be enjoyable, and you don't want to go to the IBA and have a difficult time. And I want to pursue broadening the breadth of the IBA by the use of artificial intelligence. Uh, One is to take advantage of the database we have. We have a huge database of a huge number of projects that we've done over the years, and if we start putting in that data and using artificial intelligence to put an intelligent database together, we have so much material that we can start new projects not from zero, but build up on all that has been done over the last 70 years. So it's something that can be really a fantastic tool, and also to be able to reach more and more countries. One of the big problems we've had with conferences in non-English speaking countries is that if people don't speak English well, it's difficult. Even if you have a fantastic, speaker or a very renowned lawyer, professor, judge, whatever, if he doesn't speak English well, it's very complicated, and you lose the whole presentation. But now with artificial intelligence and simultaneous translation, this is an obstacle that it's very easy to overcome. Plus, the being able to do semi-remote presentations, so we can go to many Asian countries which were very difficult because of the language, the same as Africa and other places where we have not been able to reach before. So I want to make the IBA the real voice, global voice of the legal profession.
Love everyone you're saying, and I know you have a lot of new ideas coming the way. I mean, as we all know, by the way, that we don't even need a translation. I mean, AI even make people speak other languages without speaking the languages, right? So it's even more sophisticated than that. So thanks for that. I don't know if you have any question to Jaime, but I'm thinking I just close up. So if you have any question, now it's your time to ask before we say goodbye. But I think you notice that throughout our discussion, we have delved into the theory of positive reinforcement. As I said, a psychological concept that really emphasizes rewarding desirable behavior to encourage their recurrence, of course, in the firm, in your environment. And we've seen how this principle, when applied thoughtfully within a law firm, like Jaime do in the old firm, can create a workplace where motivation, creativity, and engagement thrive without even doing a lot, but we're doing it consistently in the right way, authentically. No, and the inspiring story shared by Jaime on how this positive reinforcement approach led to the unexpected and rewarding outcomes, really enhancing both internal dynamics and really the client relationship. We also learn about innovative initiatives and practical steps that makes employees feel valued and driven to excel without the need to traditional punitive measures. I want you to remember all those points. If you need it, watch it again, watch the replay, because you can learn so much from this discussion. Because in this session, we uncovered how a culture rooted in positive reinforcement can, one, foster a more enthusiastic and dedicated workforce. Second, enhance the overall well-being and satisfaction of employees. Third, improve the client service through motivated and happy staff. We heard the word happy so many times by Jaime today. And four, lead to increased organizational success and more resilient firm. So as we discussed, moving away from conventional hierarchical models toward a culture of positive reinforcement doesn't only benefit employees, it creates a more dynamic and successful organization in general. The success stories and the insights shared by Jaime with us make a compelling case for why this culture switch is not just desirable, but essential for modern law firm if you want to keep your employees, if you want to keep the client, if you want to have a very, very collaborative work environment. So to summarize this great session, let me share with you a quote that definitely can inspire many of you, a quote that I shared many times in my keynotes by Maya Angelou, who said, "People want to recognize and reward it. They forget what you say, they forget what you do, but they will never forget how you made them feel." And remember that forever, because that's what people motivated to say. It's not the money, as Jaime said, that's the side effect, is the environment, the collaboration, praising each other. So now, my friend, it's time to take action and implement what you've learned in this session. I hope you learned a lot, like I did as always. We've been here with Jamie Carey. He is top legal leader and expert, and I will add a kind and authentic professional. And I promise you, when you meet him face to face, you know what I'm talking you the truth here. And for now, I want to thank you, Jaime, for it has been powerful and special having you here. So thank you very, very much for that. And
Thank
Jaime
you,
was
Itzik.
you're welcome.
It's very nice to be here, and thanks to everybody for staying on for a while.
And I'm sure they love it. And Jaime and myself want to thank each one of you indeed that stay with us till the end and listen. And again, if you're watching the replay, I'm sure you enjoy it. And let us know. You can still ask questions. If you ask a question, I'll make sure Jaime get it. And if they need to answer you as well. So feel better, feel pleasure. And again, remember, next episode is next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central European Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. Now it's your time to switch on and learn how to create a rewarding firm culture. Bye for now, everybody, and thanks for being with us. Bye-bye.